Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you all to another episode of the Black Market Podcast presented by Hack the Markets. And I am your host, AC, also known as the Market Oracle. As you guys already know, today we're going to jump right into the equities earnings and let's see what we have for the week. If we have anything that's interesting, went through it. It doesn't seem like we have like a huge earnings week or anything like that, but we do have some to take note. That will probably make a decent move and make you some money. So let us see what is going on. So we have for tomorrow. So it's the 28th. That's Tuesday. We have Micron. So of course, Micron is the chip maker. So they are expected to have like a 5.4% move. Um, Decent size move. Not anything to cry about. Definitely not the biggest move we've seen, but it is a move. 5% is always good to see. And I'm not 100% sure on what Micron's price stock is right now. Price of the stock is, but at least we could expect 5%. So not bad. We have Walgreens. So, of course, that is the pharmacy chains. So, we have about a 4.7% move on that one implied. So, that one's a little bit smaller. Also, we got McCormick and Company. That's going to be the spices, the seasonings, and things of that nature. About the same percentage, 4.7. For you guys that like the cruises, we have Carnival. So Carnival, they're looking at a 7.5% move. So that's actually a decent move. But Carnival is also a pretty cheap stock. I think they're trading at about $8 or something like that. Very, very cheap. So that 7% move really isn't going to be a big move. That's why we do like to trade a little bit larger for when we do get into positions, especially when we're trying to trade and when we're using options and certain strategies we just don't want to use when we're dealing with very very low stock like this one. $8, very 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 cheap. So I can't tell you. I think it's somewhere around that area between $8 and $10. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is. I have to look it up, but I know it's a cheap stock. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? All right, so it looks like we're not gonna have anybody else besides like Devin Busters for Tuesday. So let's go ahead and move to Wednesday. We're not gonna waste too much time there. And we have Centos, which is um the uniform makers. And I feel like we saw that they were supposed to have earnings on last week. So that could be something that we need to look into. I'm not 100% sure. But it looks like Wednesday they're supposed to have their earnings report. Um, UniFirst, they'll be on Wednesday. Lithium America's core. Now I do like that one. The ticker is LAC, and we did make some money off LAC before because they focus on lithium batteries, and of course, what do we have? Like laptops, we have cell phones, we have all these other electronic devices, and then we also have the rise of electronic vehicles. So with electric vehicles now coming into play a lot more, and a lot more lithium is needed to make those batteries because of the size, and with even more larger industrial company vehicles rather starting to become electrified as well. This is definitely going to be something to look out for because lithium is a big component in building out those batteries. You also need silver, so that's something else that you may want to look into is silver. But that's also a commodity. It's very hard to choose sometimes what you want to trade, the commodity or the companies that use that commodity for the raw materials. But I will say that getting into a commodities are always a little bit easier to trade just because they trend for so much. They trend for so long in one direction that it gives you a little bit easier time to make that trade or make that investment, whatever you want to do. If you want to do it long term, if you want to do it short term, that's really the only difference between trading and investing. So definitely one of those things that's like the currency market. Currency market is another thing that trends very, very long in one direction, and it will just continue to go in that one direction. So, um, definitely probably want to look into silver as well too. Just something to talk about while we were talking about this lithium Americas. I'm really not seeing anything else for Wednesday, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to Thursday. And we're not really seeing a lot of stuff on Thursday either. BlackBerry. Of course, a lot of people back in 2020, early 21, BB was something. It was a hot topic. A lot of people was trading it. They were talking about how it was more than a cell phone company and how it had evolved and all of these other high accolades they were trying to give the stock and the company. But I mean, overall, it didn't really do too much. It didn't pan out like people were thinking. They thought they had another GameStop, and it's really hard to get another GameStop. People have been trying to get another GameStop since GameStop popped back in like 2020, 2021 in that time frame. So we're in 2023 and we have not seen another GameStop. So, you know, it may be about time to put that fire out. Let's see, what else do we have? National Beverage Corps. That's something that is pretty big, with consumer staples at least. That's going to be on Thursday. Let's see, Friday. We don't really have too many things on Fridays, and it is holding true for this Friday. So, not really too much going on this week on the front of earnings. So, moving on to the economic calendar. So it has been a pretty eventful week, I'll say, and this is just the first day. Um, and eventful being that outside of the financial markets, um, a lot of stuff just going on in the world. Um, right now, I know you guys probably have heard about that shooting that went down in Nashville. So prayers go out to all of those families, and just hate to hear that it happened at another elementary school. So prayers to those people, and that's if you have any means to give to those people, and they have any GoFundMe accounts or anything like that, legit ones, not ones that are just trying to steal or take advantage of the situation, then most definitely, if you have it, show your appreciation. Well, not appreciation, I'm sorry, but show you know that you stick with them, because that is a tough time. So, moving on to more U.S. news, uh, more financial news now. Um, we are talking about some advanced U.S. trade balances. So, we got a lot of stuff like retail inventories and wholesale inventories and things like that that's going to be reported tomorrow. So, that'll give us a little bit of insight into the health of our retail sectors. We also have the Case Shiller home price index, so that'll be coming out tomorrow as well. We got the FHFA home price index as well, and we also get U.S. consumer confidence tomorrow. Um, on Wednesday, we're gonna have pending U.S. home sales. And within these reports, we also have a few Fed people speaking, like Fed Governor Barr will be speaking on Tuesday, and he'll also be speaking on Wednesday. He's testifying to the House on the banks. And that right there is another thing that we can talk about, another issue that is, kind of rippling the markets a little bit, is the banking. A lot of people are scared about banking right now. They're not really feeling confident in that banking system, even though it doesn't seem like, we have anything to worry about, and, we really should not be running for the windows and running for the exits, trying to get out by all means, because there's nothing dire need like that. It really is pretty much mismanagement. You get down to the facts and you start realizing that the banks didn't manage the risk and they didn't manage their funds appropriately. And if you don't manage your funds appropriately, you don't manage the business appropriately, that is how you go out of business. And so in this case, it is a bank. Kind of hard for a bank to go out of business, especially if you're running it correctly, seeing that all you do is deal with money. So I don't know if I would trust any of those guys to be my accountant or my tax advisor or anything dealing with my money, as they have officially and successfully crashed an entire bank. So, yeah, not anything I'm looking forward to doing business with these guys or trying to get any type of anything, any type of advice, anything. I don't want it. So, let's see. Thursday, we get GDP, and this is going to be the second revision. We get initial jobless claims. That's going to be on Thursday. And then we're going to have the Boston Fed and the Richmond Fed presidents. They're both going to speak on that day as well. Then on Friday, we have a pretty packed Friday. It seems like we have personal income as well as personal spending. We have PCE as well as core PCE. That's a metric that the Fed really likes to use to make these decisions on what they're going to do with the Fed interest rates. Um, so this number is definitely going to be in focus to see exactly, how inflation is. How is it going right now? Like, what's the status of it? Is it expanding? Is it about still constant? How much work do we have left? That's pretty much what we're going to be asking now is how much work do we have left before we can, pull back on these interest rate hikes and we can, start back lowering them. Now, take it at the last meeting, which was last Wednesday. We talked about it on the show. They did end up raising the rates as we expected, and it was only a 25 basis point, so 0.25% upgrade. So nothing major. Of course, it's still a rate hike, so it is making the interest rates climb a little bit more, but it was already expected, and the Fed has definitely slowed down on a lot of the rate hikes. As at one point we were seeing 75 point basis point rate hikes. So going from 75 down to 25 is a very big move. But still we're going up. So I mean, if you wanna say, yeah, well, we're not going up as much now, we're still going up. Interest rates are still climbing, so that means that money is still becoming more expensive to borrow. And when money becomes more expensive to borrow, that means that you can't borrow as much unless you make more. And that's that is what we get into, that cycle of, chasing, trying to get ahead. Not a good race to run, but a lot of people get caught in that race. Um, so outside of that, we have, um, like we said, we were talking about the banks. So it looks like First Citizen Bank is going to be the buyer of SVB. So that right there, definitely going a little bit slower than expected, but they had to sweeten the deal. So once they sweeten the deal, of course, now the deal probably will go through. But at the beginning, the deal didn't look like it wanted to go through just because, you had to sweeten those terms. And business is business. That these guys are mismanaging funds and things of that nature. So, you know, you don't want to pay premium for anything like that. Beyond that, I don't really have anything else on my list right now. So, what I am going to do is I am going to share my pick with you guys. I have one pick, and it's a pick that I can't say that I'm just 100% just all in on, but I do feel like this is a good opportunity and it's a low risk trade. So it's not like I'm having to put too much money up to understand if this is going to be a good trade to work in my favor. So I can put a little bit of money up and I can risk a little bit. So I'm only going to risk a couple dollars a share. So the stock that I'm talking about right now is Tesla, and I want to be short Tesla. And the only reason why I want to be short Tesla is because I see this downtrend. Now, I could be absolutely wrong about this, and I could be definitely on the wrong end, but I feel like we can touch 170 one more time before going higher. Um, Everything that's going on right now just is not sitting well with me and wanting to be a very, very bullish person on Tesla. And this play that I'm talking about right now is a very short term play. I wouldn't be in on this play for weeks or anything like that. I would definitely be just trying to get some type of pop to the downside. And if it never popped, I'm closing it. Like I said, it's about 191, so roughly 192 right now. We'll just say 192. So, me personally, I don't want to go I don't want it to go higher than 205. If it gets to about 205, I'm done. I'm not holding on to it any longer. So that is the play that I want to share. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure. Um, I'm not 100% bought in. Let me say it that way. I'm not 100% bought in, so I will be opening a small position on this short. I will not be opening a normal position size, and I would definitely won't be opening a large position size. I'm going to open a smaller. And if it does start going in my favor, we can always scale in and scale out. But beyond that, that's got to be my game plan. Not necessarily something that you have to follow along with, but just sharing my game plan. So, if you guys want to know more stocks that I intend to trade, you want to know my a little bit more about my game plan, understand what made me look at these stocks, what is giving me the um what's giving me the idea or what's giving me the hint that certain things are going to happen, definitely head over to hackthemarketstrading.com where you can go and set yourself up a premium account. On that premium account, you'll be able to ask all of that stuff to me and my team. With that being said, I definitely want to encourage you to follow us on Twitter, like the Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely like some videos, share some comments, and share this channel with people who just want to learn a little bit more about financial markets and also want to get a little bit of news going on. Until next time, though, I'll see you guys on Monday. Next Monday. Hope that you guys can make some money, and we're hoping that Tesla falls out the sky so we can make some here. Uh, have a good one.